Matthew 5:9, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the sons of God. Now, if when I said peacemaker, the very first thing that you thought of, the very first image to enter your mind was essentially that of a long-haired hippie walking around in sandals giving the peace sign, then please do watch this video all the way to the end because, that really wasn't what Jesus was meaning. Hi everyone, I'm Mark Leeming, helping you think biblically in a brief amount of time with a brand new video uploaded each and every Thursday. So if you're new here, please do consider subscribing and don't forget to hit the notification bell. So Matthew 5:9, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the sons of God. It is the seventh of 8 short ethical sayings, often referred to as the Beatitudes, that Jesus gave at the beginning of his famous Sermon on the Mount that he preached on a mountain slope somewhere around the Sea of Galilee. Now, the 8th and final beatitude, blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness. I actually did a video on that a couple months ago, which then inspired me to do the other 7. So if you haven't watched that yet, I'll provide an end card at the end of this video, and I'd highly recommend that you watch it because I'm afraid, brothers and sisters, we here in the Western Church may very well soon be experiencing persecution. Now, out of all of the Beatitudes, perhaps this one about peacemaking raised the most eyebrows amongst his original audience. His original audience, of course, being the Jewish people, whose nation of Israel had been conquered and occupied by the Roman military for many years prior to that time. And so there were many Jews who were hoping that the long-awaited Messiah in the Old Testament, when he would come, he would be a military ruler, that he would lead a military uprising against the Romans and make Israel into a great superpower. So if Jesus really was this long-awaited Messiah, or at least he was a prophet preparing the way for the Messiah, then what was all this talk about peace then? Yet Jesus had clearly come not to be a military ruler, but rather as a suffering Messiah. As the gospel writer Luke put it, he had come to seek and save the lost. Or as the gospel writer Mark would say, that Jesus had come not to be served, but rather to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. Tragically, however, the Jewish nation rejected Jesus as their Messiah, and one of the consequences was that they did lead a military uprising against the Romans, which the Romans cruelly put down in 70 AD by basically destroying Jerusalem and obliterating the temple. So what does it mean to be a peacemaker in our modern Western culture in the 21st century? I mean, it's not as though we're under a foreign military dictatorship or anything. That being said, however, we do seem to be at constant war with each other as a culture. There's so much hatred, so much strife, so much division. And that's in spite of so much emphasis today, so much talk today about recognizing each other's differences as coming together as one. It seems that the more we emphasize diversity, the more divided and tribal we become as a culture. I mean, just recently, I think it was Columbia University in the United States, they announced that this year for graduation, they wouldn't be holding the traditional one graduation ceremony for everyone. No, this year they're going to hold 6 separate graduation ceremonies based upon skin color, economic status, etc. Nothing like diversity to bring us all together as one. And that kind of thinking is everywhere in our culture today. Everyone seems to be splintering off into these different groups, these different tribes, all demanding their ways, all thinking that they are better than everyone else. And if their rights, if their demands are not met, well, everyone else isn't being diverse enough. So how are we to be peacemakers in a crazy world like this? Well, according to Jesus, to be a peacemaker, you have to apply the previous 6 Beatitudes, such as blessed are the poor in spirit. We need to recognize that we are sinners just like everyone else. We're not better than anyone else. We need to be merciful. We need to extend love and forgiveness to others, even if they have wronged us. We need to be meek. We need to be humble. We need to not always demand our ways. And it's when we do those Beatitudes, when they become a part of who we are, we will, by our very nature, become peacemakers. However, that does not mean that many in our culture will appreciate that. Because, quite frankly, human nature being the way it is, there are many who would much rather dominate and control other people, and peacemakers are a threat. And Jesus' last beatitude. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I did a video on that a few months back, and the end card for that video is right over there. If you'd like to subscribe, click on the icon up there. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope to see all of you next Thursday. Bye for now.